Chapter 63. Kai. Kai stared out into the forest. It was uninviting and harsh, a stark contrast to his usual feelings of familiarity and comfort. Then again, he was losing his mind. Adam had disappeared, and Leah had gone after him, and no one had seen her since. He didn't know what to do. He could feel his heart beating in his chest, as though it might burst out at any moment. Of all the days for this to happen, why did it have to be the one day when he was gone? With Chris no less attempting to repair the damaged trust between them. As they approached Hayden, Lonnie stood waiting for them. Kai's stomach tightened at the look on Lonnie's face. He was feeling hopeful about moving forward with Chris, but all of that took a back seat when he received the news of Adam's abduction and Leah's disappearance. A deep sense of despair replaced all his optimism and energy, leaving him feeling hollow and helpless. He'd been a mess ever since. A roaring flame of anger burned within him, directed at himself for not being there when Adam needed him the most. He could feel the heat rising in his chest, fueled by guilt and regret. He was supposed to be Adam's Indian warrior, and then there was Leah, out there alone and vulnerable with no one to protect her. He didn't like to admit it, but he knew what Leah must be feeling, because he was feeling it too. And he knew he shouldn't. He wasn't the boy's father. But there was something about Adam and the unexplainable connection between him and Chrissy. It wasn't logical, but he couldn't shake the belief deep within himself that Chrissy had brought him to the boy. And in the process, Kai developed a strong fondness for Adam. More than fond. Frustrated and out of breath, he returned to the compound after another fruitless search through the woods. Earlier, he'd driven down the highway and scoured every inch of the surrounding area, but Leah was nowhere to be seen. He found himself back at the edge of the woods, the same place where Leah had vanished. He stood there in silence, staring into the stillness of the forest. From behind, he could hear Lonnie making her way towards him. "Did you see anything?"
"Nothing,"
he whispered. A sharp pain tugged at his heart, a feeling he had almost forgotten, when once it was constant. He noticed a black raven soaring in the sky and narrowed his eyes as an unexpected sense of serenity washed over him. He turned his attention to the nearby woods where the bird had emerged, calling out into the air. His eyes followed the frantic movements of the raven, its sharp cries cutting through the stillness of the forest. Before he knew it, his feet were carrying him towards the woods, drawn forward from some unknown force. He could hear Lonnie calling out to him.
"Where are you going?"
"There's something out there. I have to go."
Without a second thought, he took off running towards it. And then, like magic, there she was, stumbling through the underbrush, towards him. Leah's knees buckled when she saw Kai approaching. She fell into his arms, and he lifted her with ease. Above them, the raven let out a piercing squawk and dove towards them before soaring back into the sky.
"I've got her!"
Kai's voice reverberated through the forest as he looked down at Leah's limp body cradled against his chest. In a blur of movement, Chris and several others appeared, racing towards them.
"Oh my God, is she okay?"
Summer's worried voice floated behind them, her movement slowed by the weight of her growing pregnancy.
Leah! Leah! You all right?"
Kai's face was so close, Leah's breath tickled his lips. It took all his willpower not to press them against hers. There was never anyone he had been more relieved and overjoyed to see in his entire life. His eyes flickered towards Lonnie, feeling a wave of fear and gratitude rushing through him, all his feelings for Leah exposed for his sister to see.
"We have to bring her inside and get some water into her,"
Lonnie spoke, resting her hand on Kai's arm, understanding. His chin lifted in a subtle nod as he held Leah close, her head tucked into his chest. The scent of her sweat mixed with the dampness of the woods filled his nostrils as she draped her arms around his neck, clinging to him, her body heavy and weak against his. Lonnie leaned in closer, straining to hear Leah's words as she struggled to speak through her dry mouth.
"Chrissy,"
she said, her voice a faint whisper.
"I'm coming, Chrissy. I'm coming."
Kai and Lonnie froze, their eyes connected in a wordless exchange of astonishment and surprise.
"Adam,"
Leah whimpered, her face crumbling in torment.
"Adam."
They leaned in, one on each side of Leah's feverish head, and rested their foreheads against hers. With their eyes closed, they spoke as one.
We've got you, Leah. We've got you.